Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this video will be an Ilia first impressions makeup tutorial, which I will get to shortly. But before that, I want to take a moment, first of all, to appreciate this tropical, beautiful background. So this video was filmed in Hawaii after 13 months away. The purpose of my trip was primarily to spend some time catching up with my mom and working remotely there, but also to shoot my latest jewelry line as well, which will be dedicated to Hawaii. That won't be launching until August, so this is a sneak peek. But when I saw how well this makeup look wore even in the heat and how good it looked in photos, I wanted to share it with you in time for the 20% off sale. So here's how it looks. It's inspired by orchids, but of course, being me, it's another neutral makeup tutorial. But it features all new products, many of which are from Ilia, so a natural beauty brand, and I was skeptical as to how they would turn out. So here's me trying them out for the first time, and I'm amazed at how well they all worked. There really are some fun new launches this spring, so if you'd like to see the other new things that I'm getting in the Sephora sale, because these things for me were purchased pre-sale, then check out my Instagram because I'm going to be sharing all of those links and ideas on Insta Stories. First product is an oldie but a goodie. It is the Shiseido Beneficience SPF 25 Day Cream. I like to layer my SPF so that a lot of the products that I use have SPF in them. Because I'm in Hawaii, I will also use an SPF on its own as well after this product. So first I let the day cream sink in. It's very plumping, and I always try and let products sink in. I want to get on with my day, I have things to do, but taking a few moments in between each layer really allows them to sink in so that you don't get a cakey finish, especially in hotter weather. I've tried both the Shiseido and Florence sun creams or SPF creams, and I do think I have a slight preference for the Florence because it just feels a little lighter on the skin, but they both work very, very well, and I've never ever gotten a sunburn on my face in Hawaii using them. So here is what that looks like. It leaves the slightest white cast when you first apply it, but like all good SPFs, it sinks in after. Then I'm following it up with my first application of the Ilia skin tint, and this is actually not just a BB cream-like product, but also a treatment. So it contains hyaluronic acid, it's an active serum, it has niacinamide, and other natural ingredients like shea butter, which I was surprised to see on the ingredients list. It makes me even more surprised that it does not feel heavy at all. It feels light as air, like nothing, and leaves a really skin-like finish. It's my favorite product that I use in this video, and my color is 6.5 Kai, so light medium with cool undertones. I was surprised at how dark I needed to go, but I think that's a wonderful thing because it really is a wide shade range where hopefully everyone can find the right color for them, and for me it blended in perfectly where you can hardly even see where it starts and stops, and it covers, I would say, 80% of everything, which is actually what I want. I don't want a heavy foundation anymore, especially with wearing masks and just not needing as much makeup nowadays. Something light like this is perfect for me, and it really does feel like it hydrates without feeling heavy. That is the feel of putting it on. It feels like you are plumping and moisturizing your skin, and even on days where I haven't, needed to wear makeup, being in Hawaii, I felt drawn to put this on because it evened out my skin tone and really made it feel good for the day rather than cakey all the way until nighttime without separating or clumping or anything like that, even after mask wearing. It's very even, very pleasant feeling. I'm really truly happy with it, and you all know how much I love the Clinique BB, but this provides a greater level of hydration and a feeling of hydration that I really enjoy. I use the smallest amount of the Armani powder that I always use, just around the T-zone to set. You might not even need it if you don't live in a warm climate. And then I followed up with the bronzer from Ilia, which I had also never tried, and I really like how natural natural it looks. Bronzer is difficult for me because it can often cast orange and oxidize on my skin and look funny, but this one blended right in with the Serum skin tint, and I really like how it provided a bit of dimension to the skin. I would consider it a plus if you are looking for a new bronzer. It's definitely a nice one. Unfortunately, my microbladed brows a year and a half on have faded quite a bit, so now they need a bit of work. I use a Tom Ford to do that. It's always been my favorite brow tool. I do think it's worth the money. It looks more natural than many others, and then I follow that up with a cheapy brow gel, because who needs expensive brow gel just from Maybelline to set everything? And that kind of tides me over until I can get another appointment, but unfortunately my microblading place is in Canada. So I then have a primer. I always use a NARS Pro primer, but this is a funny new product from Ilia that's very unexpectedly different. So this is their cream eyeshadow, but it is also a little bit like a highlighter and concealer in one as well. It provides some nice coverage for the veininess on my eyes, which I wasn't expecting. And then I followed it up with their cool eye palette. So that's where the orchid idea comes from, because it has mostly plummy colors that I find a little bit difficult to wear normally. But they're very sheer and easy and buttery, and so I really like the effect that it creates. I started with the taupe shade all over the lid, which really popped against the really pretty champagne base, and then followed up with a little bit of the darker eggplant color just in the corner. Normally I might do a little bit more of that if I was going out, but for Hawaii I didn't want to do too much and go too smoky, so I kept it natural and then used the two plummy matte shades. It's a good blend of matte and shimmer. It's a nice little eye palette that I think you'll use most of the shades for, and I blended that into the lower crease. Now, a little hack that I've always used even previous to buying this particular bronzer is to use whatever bronzer you're using in the upper crease of your eye to blend your shadows during the spring and summer. I think it gives a bit of warmth to your eye look if you're using cooler tone shadows, which is my preference, and just blends everything beautifully and remembers the shade from your face. So I think it's a really nice trick if you haven't tried that before. I also tried their concealer under my eyes, which is a little more yellow toned on purpose. So I decided to go for that because I have a lot of veining under my eyes that makes me look tired that is more cool toned, so this balances everything out nicely. And then I decided to try this on a whim to just use the eye base under the eye, and I love how it looks because it adds a tiny bit of glow right where you would normally perhaps start your highlighter, and still kind of creates a bit of a base that has coverage in it. So it was different than I was expecting. It's not as shimmery as you would expect a cream eyeshadow to be, but I really liked how it looks because it is a little more multi-purpose as a product. Next up, I used the same liquid liner I always use, so the Dolly Wings, and you can get a decent idea of how I do it without trying to pull too much at my eyes. Now being 32, it's nice to not do that, but difficult if it's become a habit for you like it has for me. So here's the end result of that, just a simple little flick. And then I'm trying the Ilia mascara. What a hyped up product. I think both the serum and the mascara have received the most press, but I think the serum is a standout by far, whereas the mascara is good if you are looking for a natural mascara that will actually work really well, which is hard to find, so I think it does fill a gap in the market. I liked how well it curled my lashes, despite not spending a lot of time to curl them myself. I thought that it did a nice job with that and a nice job with separating, but otherwise it's not really a groundbreaking product, just good if you are looking for a natural alternative. I asked my mom to try her Florence cream blush, and I really liked how it wore. It's super natural, but you get a nice flush from being in Hawaii in the first place, so I just wanted something light and creamy. I have some cream blush that I'll be trying in the Sephora sale because after 10 years of avoiding it, I want to try it again. So this is my first one that I've tried, and I do like how it looked. And I'll be trying some others linked on Instagram. And then I tried this lip tint from Charlotte Tilbury, which is new, and I love it so much. I do think she does a nice job with lip products, and this one is a really pretty neutral coral that I thought turned out really well. So that is linked down below along with everything else that I tried in this video. And I will also link my favorite curly hair products because they are from Sephora. I only really tend to wear my hair curly when I'm in Hawaii or in a super humid climate, but they do the trick in terms of keeping the frizz at bay and the curls somewhat semi-polished looking. Curls always have a mind of their own, so you can't have too many expectations for them, but once in a while they surprise you with a good hair day. So that is my first impressions Ilia makeup tutorial, as well as a little shopping list of favorites if you are looking for one. So happy shopping for those of you interested in the Sephora sale. Everything about the sale is linked down below along with the links for the products. Stay well, and I will see you in my next installment on style.